Yo, what up? Welcome back to your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker slash network and system protector. That's going to be like a new addition to the intro here. Today we are going through phishing emails in action, which from what I understand, we're just going to be looking at a variety of different phishing emails and analyzing them to break them down and see, how they're set up and what they do, how they take exploits into a new level with phishing. This is all a part of the phishing module here. That's a part of the SOC level 1 pathway of TryHackMe. And as you can see right here, there are literally a bunch of different types of emails. So the cancel your PayPal, order, track your package, select your email provider to view document, please update your payment details, your recent purchase, DHL Express Courier. So these are actual phishing emails that have been used before that we're going to go into and try to analyze, see what they look like in action. If you are studying for your security analyst or Pentest Plus or ethical hacker certifications, I do welcome you and encourage you to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell of this channel. Everything that we talk about here is about ethical hacking and pen testing, and you will be learning a lot if you're trying to take these certification exams or if you're trying to do these things for your day-to-day as a job of a cybersecurity analyst or a pen tester, and they apply directly to all of those things. And I do answer all the questions and comments that come in, and sometimes I'll even maybe make a video if your question is complicated enough that requires a longer answer than I can do inside a comment section. And just as a kind of like an extra bonus, we have an amazing community of a lot of great people who are trying to get along the same exact path that you and I are going through right now. So it would be nice to have you as a part of that community so we can grow together, learn together, and become cybersecurity professionals and ethical hackers together. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the introduction of the room. Now that we have covered the basics in the first phishing email video, which is already live by the time that this goes out, the other one should be out. So if you haven't seen that one, you should go watch that one so you can see what's going on with that, for the basics of phishing emails from the perspective of the security analyst. Because I've done phishing email videos from the perspective of the attacker, of the penetration tester, but we did one from the perspective of the security analyst, and that was actually pretty eye-opening as well. So you should watch that before we go into this one. Now we're going to go into some examples. So that's really basically the introduction here, and we can move on with it. There's no question that needs to be answered or anything. So let's go into the first email, which is cancel your PayPal order. The email sample in this task highlights spoofed email addresses, the URL shortening services, and HTML to impersonate a legitimate brand. And the email recipient address is unusual in this case. It's not the email address associated with the actual Yahoo account. The mismatch could immediately stand out. The sender's details, which is service@paypal.com, don't match the sender's email address, which is gibberish at sultanbogor.com. Then you have the subject line hints that you can make a purchase or a transaction of some sort, and if you don't recall that, then it'll obviously be a red flag to you. So this social engineering tactic is to prompt you to interact with the email quickly because you probably didn't put an PayPal order, and now you need to figure out what's going on, so on and so forth. So this one is obviously not the same. The subject doesn't say cancel your PayPal order. In this one, the subject says your recipient or your receipt for payment to amazing stuff. And so you look at that, you're like, what payment? I didn't make a payment. And then you open the email immediately and you see that there's a lot of crazy things going on. So service@PayPal is what it looks like as the supposed email, which is what they put as their name. Basically, they put service@paypal.com. But then when you look at the actual email, this is definite. I mean, this looks like a scammy email. So that's really concerning. And then two, this is not the person's email, I don't think. This doesn't look like anybody's email that they would be receiving to. So the first few sections right here immediately raise red flags. And then thankfully, in this particular case, it says, for your security, we disabled all images. If you believe that it's safe to use, mark it as not spam. So this specifically is in the Yahoo spam folder, as we can see on the right side over here. And it's already been filtered out as spam because there's just so many things about it that are red flags. So if we look at the email body, there's an image right here that's been canceled out. The transaction ID, they blurred it out, so I guess that might be a legitimate transaction ID. It says, hey customer, you sent a payment of 120 to Amazing Stuff Help Center at such and such email address, and it may take a few moments for the transaction to appear in your account. So this is to just in case they don't already see it in their credit card application or their bank card application. They're like, it's going to take a few moments. So it's kind of in limbo that they may have received this email. The merchant information looks really legit. The setup of this thing looks very legit. This looks very much like an actual PayPal email that came in for an order. And this is, I mean, just by looking at it, if you don't know that if you kind of glance over these things or you don't pay attention to the top portion of this looks very, very concerning. And so the second half of the image is at the bottom right here that has these things, and this piece right here is where that hyperlink to either exploit your machine or do anything like that comes in, because you want to click cancel the order because you didn't place the order, so you want to stop the order from going through. But by clicking that is where you actually get hooked, and where your machine will either receive malware or they get a kind of like a remote connection into your machine, and they can do a lot of things that way. So this is a very well thought out email address or email specific phishing email that's happening. And the copyright message at the bottom looks very legit. So there's so many things that is amazing as far as the design of the email itself is concerned. So the email body complements the sender information and the subject line. The email was designed as a legitimate email from PayPal. There aren't any attachments associated. The only interactive element is the cancel the order button link. And if we looked at it, this is it. So cancel the order, https is.gd such and such, and this is not going to eBay or PayPal. Yeah, it's not going to eBay or PayPal, wherever the purchase was done. It seems like, was it an eBay order? It doesn't seem like it was an eBay order, but it doesn't seem like it's going to any actual vendor. So it doesn't go to Amazing Stuff, the website or anything like that. So the URL uses a shortening service, and it's not a good idea to click on it if you don't know where it's taking you to. So there are online tools that you can use to check this out, and this is actually very cool, that you can go to a place, screenshot of the distant page behind your URL, which is taking you over here, I guess, and you can expand it. So I guess it would, a URL shortener, and then you can have a URL expander that you can just Google to. It directs to google.com. The tools expand shorten URLs will be discussed in the phishing emails 3 room, so we're going to talk about that in the next room. But it's very, very, very well designed email, so it's kind of crazy to think about. So what phrase does the gibberish sender email start with? Is right here. It says no reply. That's the phrase that starts with, and so no reply is in their email address. All right, cool. So that was the one to cancel your order. Now let's look at track your package. Track your package. In this case, we also have a spoofed email address. We have pixel tracking, link manipulation. The email is tailored to appear that it's sent from a mail distribution center. The subject line adds the pretense that there's a tracking number here, and the link in the email body matches the subject line. So you have track your package. So this is the part, that's the subject. The email address here actually looks way more normal than the last email address that we saw. And it looks like it's coming from distribution center and it's being sent to the person. Obviously this was filtered by spam. The link itself is this thing right here. So this is a clickable link right here. Yahoo blocked the images from automatically loading. Any guesses as to why? Because they're probably malicious, right? So if we were to, you can cursor or hover our cursor over a link to see where it's pointing to, but in this example, it won't work because Yahoo disabled the link. So we will look at the raw code to see what's going on. And so this is the ahref hyperlink code that takes you to this particular place, and then the image source is also going to that place, and it makes it look like a real image. So I guess they use the tracking PNG instead of the actual hyperlink or text. They used an image in that case. And we can see an image file. It's explicitly calling tracking PNG. These trackers send information back to the spammer's server. There are many reasons for spammers to embed tracking pixels, which is very small images, into their spam emails. And we'll refer to this on The Verge here if we wanted to go read about that. It's a blog called The Verge, and you can go check that out. The title is How to Stop Your Emails from Being Tracked. Then we can understand why Yahoo automatically blocked it, because, I mean, it's malicious. So back to the hyperlink, the link is pointing to a shady looking domain. The only distribution center this domain can be associated with is malware, but further analysis is the only way that we can confirm that. So what is the root domain for each URL? And we need to defang it. And that is the devret.xyz. So it would be devret and then square brackets like this and then XYZ. That's how you defang a URL. And that was it for this one. So let's move on to the next one, which is select your email provider to view document. This particular email has a few other things. So there's urgency, of course, HTML to impersonate a legitimate brand, link manipulation, credential harvesting, and poor grammar and typos. That is always funny to me when they send an email and they have really bad grammar and they're trying to pretend to be an established organization. It's like, bruh, get out of here. It's so funny because I've received so many freaking spam emails and phishing emails. And before I even started studying cybersecurity, it just obviously looked really shady and suspicious. But after going through these things, I'm like, dude. And then every time I get a new one, I'm just like, my God. And recently, when I've been getting a lot of text messages coming in from these people, I just play along just to see how far I can take their con. And it's funny because eventually they learn that they're like, oh shit, this guy's fucking with us. Like, he's not an actual person that we can mess with. And he's trying to waste our time. So they just move on and they stop messaging me, which is kind of ideal. But I wanna get to the point where I can send them a link that if they click on it, I'll be able to hook their devices and get on their system. So that's kind of the ultimate goal, to like reverse spam or reverse scam somebody who's trying to scam me. Okay, moving on. So a closer look at this thing. The thing has been sent on Thursday, 1:35 p.m. I guess that's kind of an issue. Is that an issue? And what day? I don't know what day it is because it doesn't tell me. Oh, I see. So it was sent on Thursday, July 15, 2021, and expires July 15, 2021. So it expires on the day that it was sent. So that's kind of interesting. Download the document is the clickable place that you're going to probably have an attached malware or some kind of bad link. And then if the email was sent on Thursday, we saw that, a sense of urgency because it's sent on the same day. Notice the link to download the fax document expires on the same day. It's an action to perform, right? In this case, a button to download the fax. And if you click on it, I guess they clicked on it in this case, it took them to app.popped.in landing such and such, and then get document or preview the fax. And then if we click on it, it asks us to sign in with Outlook or any of these things, which probably means that they're going to track our keystrokes and capture our information. So that is a big deal here. So this image above shows the victim is redirected to a page created to pass as OneDrive, and the URL is nothing that is Microsoft related. So it's supposed to look like a Microsoft page, but there's nothing about it that's Microsoft related. And there are two more links for the victim to interact with. So if you click on either one, then it brings you to this other page right here, and it's directed to another site crafted to resemble Adobe, and the URL again does not look like an Adobe page, right? So it says it's SharePoint, but it's not Adobe. This is, I mean, it's very comprehensive. It's like very elaborate, this scam that they run. So also notice the page title in the tab. It's called SharePoint Online, which is a Microsoft product and it's not an Adobe product. So there are a couple of grammatical errors as well on here. So let's find the grammatical errors. To read the document, please enter with the valid email credentials that this file was sent to. Okay, sign in with Outlook, with Office 365. Select your email provider to view document. Okay, I guess this doesn't, this part of it doesn't really seem that big of a deal. Then they are directed to yet another site, which was crafted to resemble Adobe again, which is the one down here. It doesn't look like it's related to Adobe, and the page title in the tab is called SharePoint Online, which is a Microsoft product. And there's a couple of grammatical errors here as well. And the victim has options to sign in with the email provider of their choice. They choose to sign in with, oh, this is up here, this part right here. Then we choose to use Outlook, for example, and if you want to, again, the link is still the bad link. The victim chose to log in with Outlook. To read the document, please enter valid email credentials, so on and so forth. And then it says invalid credentials, which is also misspelled, and or not misspelled, but the formatting of it is a little bit funky. In this example, we can tell that fake credentials were entered, but even if the victim would have entered their valid credentials, the error message would be the same. This scenario happens because the victim is not really authenticating. Instead, the credentials were entered now reside on the criminal server because they were capturing their credentials. So more grammatical errors. All this work that they put into this, you would think that they could run a spell check. So the email sample was obtained from any run. If you want to interact with the email and see the full analysis, you could go to that link below, which is on any run's website. And so if we do that, it opens it up over here, and it's a task on any run. Wow, look at this. This is it. Any run is actually a really great website, and you can also just go and watch kind of what it looks like. And if I zoom over certain things, it'll open it up and it'll show certain pieces of it. Oh, it's actually right here. So this is it. And then we move forward. So this, you move forward, and then move forward, and then move forward, move forward, move forward, da 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 da, like that. So it's pretty cool website. That is for any run. So now it says the email sample used the names of a few major companies, their products, and logos such as OneDrive and Adobe. What other company name was used in this phishing email? So we have Outlook. We have, what do we have? We have Office 365, Adobe, OneDrive, PDF. What else do we have here that might be kind of shady? Citrix attachments. So it could be Citrix. So let's see if it's Citrix. Yes, it is. All right, so there was that one. This was a pretty elaborate email right here. Let's move on to the next one. Please update your payment details. In this one, we are going to be looking at a spoofed email address, urgency, HTML to impersonate a legitimate brand, poor grammar and typos, and attachments. So there are quick observations. The email is made to appear that it's from Netflix billing, but the address is completely false. The element of urgency, again, so Netflix ID is suspended. That's what makes it urgent. There is more of this sense of urgency in the email body. And in the email body, it says right here, your account is on hold. Also notice the different misspellings of the word Netflix. So let's see. Oh yeah, Netflix, obviously in the title, as well as Netflix billing is misspelled. Not sure what the purpose of that was, honestly. Same here. I have no idea why they would do that. Typically, you'll see this technique when it comes to typo squatting, but that wasn't the case here. Typo squatting is when you want it to look like something legit and you purposefully misspell it. So, for example, making the name Alan instead of two L's, there would be one L and the number 1, just to impersonate Alan when somebody's scanning through something. But in this case, it doesn't make sense why they would do that. So it's kind of weird. And the meat and potatoes is this piece right here. So, hey, customer, we're having some trouble with your current billing information. Please open the file, PDF to update your account, which is retarded. No company would ever send you a PDF to update your account. We're here if you need it. Visit the help center or contact us now. And they have a phone number that is not, I mean, I really doubt that Netflix, unless you're in this country code or something, their phone number isn't going to be like that. It's going to be some kind of an 800 number. Please do not reply to this email as we're unable to respond from this email address. If you need help or would like to contact us, please visit our help center at help.netflix.com, which is another clickable link that you can go to. And then they have the PDF. So if you open up the PDF, this is what it's going to look like. The update payment account, my God. If you did not ask to reset your password, you may want to review your recent account access for any unusual activity. We're here to help if you need it. Visit the help center or contact us. Again, clickable links. Nobody would ever send this to you. This is insane. Notice the phone number. At first glance, this is an unusual phone number to send to a US-based victim, obviously. The attachment contains an embedded link for update payment account, and it's probably going to be a bad link. So we'll look at this email attachment in closer detail in the next room. So what should the user do if they receive a suspicious email or text message claiming to be from Netflix? So we have a hint here that's pointing us to the Consumer Affairs website. And police warn of new Netflix email phishing scam. And so beware of the links. And so what does it say? It says, what should you do? So users who receive suspicious email claiming to be Netflix are advised to forward the message to phishing to netflix.com. So we're just going to copy this piece right here. I do not want to do this pop-up. You guys are annoying with your pop-ups. And we're going to now go and paste that here. Forward the message to phishing at Netflix so that they can be caught. And now moving on to the next one, your recent purchase email. This particular email will highlight spoofed email addresses. Recipient is BCC'd, blind carbon copied, urgency, poor grammar and typos, attachments. So pretty similar to some of the other ones. The observations about this email are, let's look at it ourselves. So this is action required. So there's urgency in here. Your recent purchase of Double Jackpot Slots Las Vegas on the App Store, which is a game purchase. Then you have the Apple support being the name that's supposed to come from, but it says do not reply, store mail, yada, 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 add a different domain name. And then no reply, payment, so payment is misspelled, at app.apple.iud, yada, yada, yada. So this is just very concerning. Noticeable typos in both the sender and email addresses, do not reply and payment. Oh, do no reply, I see. So it says do no reply, it doesn't even say do not reply. This particular email doesn't necessarily have an email body, it's just totally blank, and it contains an attachment, so it makes you want to kind of just download that, I guess. And if you open it, it's a dot file and associated with Microsoft Word, and it opens it up like so, and it's basically a receipt, right? And it looks like a legitimate receipt. It even has save 3% on your Apple purchases with the Apple Card, apply and use in minutes. They do the most with this, right? What's contained within the attachment, you can see that the file contains a large image to resemble an Apple Store receipt, and then the link contains certain keywords related to the Apple, which is apps and iOS. And this entire thing is not text, so none of this is text. This whole thing is just one big image. So it was created and then pasted inside the document. So BCC is blind carbon copy. And the technique that was used to persuade the victim to not ignore the email and act swiftly is urgency. And that is it for the recent purchase one. And now we can move into the DHL Express courier shipping notice. DHL Express courier shipping involves a spoofed email address, HTML to impersonate a legitimate brand, attachments. And so we look at here, right? So DHL Express, info at Glam Car Company, definitely not the email. DHL Express courier shipping notice with the tracking number, not a tracking number, I think that's the notice number, or maybe the shipping order ID, something like that. It doesn't look like a tracking number. Then they used their actual header for their company, which looks very, very real. Thank you for scheduling a courier shipment with DHL. Look at the source code for the email. And, oh, I see, that's not part of the email. Looking at the source code for the email, the link to view the email as a web page doesn't contain an actual destination URL. So to view this email as a web page, go here. There's nothing there for them to go to, which is this thing at the top right here. The only element that they can interact with is the attachment, which in this case is an Excel document. And when that opens up, we have this thing looking here that is, I don't know, Chinese or Japanese, I can't tell, but it's definitely not English. And the attachment runs a payload that throws an error. Ooh, so there's macros inside of this particular attachment, or excuse me, there's a payload that's inside the macros of this attachment. Macros is source code of a document like Word document or an Excel document that you don't see. Like the metadata is stored inside the macros, so you can store something inside of the macros. And in this case, it says C users admin app data roaming regasms.exe. The NTVD CPU has encountered an illegal instruction. Click close to terminate the application. So they tried to do something, and thankfully the computer caught it in this case. So very, very interesting. In this case, what is the name of the executable that the Excel attachment attempts to run? And it is regasms. Regasms.exe. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And that's the last one, actually. So now we can just go into the conclusion, which basically says we looked at previous phishing emails or various phishing emails. Some of the samples shared similar techniques, whereas others introduced a new tactic. Understanding how to detect these things takes awareness training. So you got to train the employees and keep this in front of them all the time. Share anything that happens and new developments and new case studies all the time so that they know what's going on. Additional resources are these links right here. So we have KnowBe4, IT governance, cheap SSL security, and phishing quiz with google.com. And we're going to be looking at phishing emails 3 in the next one, which seems like we're going to be looking at more of the tools for it. Let's see what that actually is. So phishing emails 3 is going to be the phishing analysis tools is going to be the next room that we're going to go into. So it should be fun. Should be an interesting thing. The deeper that we go into this, the more we learn, and there are better tools to use. So this is one of those things that we're going to run across a lot as cybersecurity analysts, because this is the weakest link in the chain, is the humans in the organization. So attackers are more likely going to target the humans, the workers, the professionals, the employees, the peers that you have, whereas trying to attack the systems, because the systems constantly get patched. And if you have up-to-date systems, more likely you're going to be fine. So it's getting the human beings is going to be the strategy to be able to do that. So that's it for the phishing emails in action room that we're in. If you're studying for your Pentest Plus or Ethical Hacker or Security Analyst certification, any of those things, I will encourage and welcome you to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell and drop a comment, all that stuff. I respond to all the comments, and if you have any questions, I'll definitely answer your questions in the comments as well. I might even make a video for you. Yeah, it would be just lovely to have you as a part of our community. I think it would be really awesome to have somebody else to keep adding awesome additions to our community that is growing like weeds. And it's been very, very cool, and it's been very humbling of an experience to have everybody hop on board with us. And I consider it to be a privilege. So I would love to have you as a part of our community. I think you will get a lot of value from it. And the videos from this channel are all focused on cybersecurity and ethical hacking, penetration testing, all that stuff. So I think it'll be useful to you in your path of becoming a pen tester or cybersecurity analyst. And I would love to have you as a part of the community. So that being said, we are done with this. This has been your boy, Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker / protector. And yeah, if no one else loves you, Hank loves you. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I will see you in the next room. Later.